This is a military boot. It's one of our Defender boots. The materials are exactly the same as we would use in our hiking boots. So it's I use the same leather for across the board. This boot is called the Defender, or the Warrior or the Defender. And I would go through exactly the same process as I've just gone through for treating the boot with to make it water repellent and supple. However, I would be using the military Bootcare kit, and in the military Bootcare kit we have the same things. We have the buffing brush, we have the leather gris and the leather gloss, only it's coloured brown. This is the leather gloss. Leather gloss is for putting on a high shine. So, follow the same process, only using leather gloss, not leather gris, as we did in buffing, in putting on everything. Do everything the same, take the footbed out, just repeat the process. But at the end, after it's had time to set a little bit, and the other thing is, if you put the leather gloss just on top of a radiator, not to melt it, just soften it a little bit. It helps it no end if you do that. Then you put it on and you can buff it. This is exactly the same boot treated with leather gloss, okay? And what you do at the end of that, and I'll show you now, is we just put the brush there in between your knees, get yourself a buffing cloth and you just buff it like so. That's the difference. We're buffing it now like that. See that? And then we turn it over and we buff the heel in the same way, just like so. And then we polish it all around like that. Now if you take a look at that and that, I don't know how well it comes out in a camera, but that's reflecting. That's like, you can see a shine in it. That's leather gloss, and it's treated differently. Now, yes, if you're getting married, or you're going to a wedding, or you're going to visit your wife's parents, you may want to buff your boots up like this. But for on parade, they do look good when they're buffed up. I mean, I've always polished my footwear. But what's happening when you do that? Well, I'll tell you what's happening. When I photograph this boot with a look, I'm a bit of an anorak when it comes to leathers and stuff like that. I can't help myself. And I actually have a camera which will magnify. It does it at 100. That, what you're looking at there, and I don't know how well you can see that, that is that leather. And can you see how it's all open? That's because this is breathable leather, made for outdoors, and it allows the passage through of sweat from your foot. That's why it's comfortable. This is not, you can't see it with the naked eye. Now, when we use leather gris, then the leather will generally remain very similar. This is another leather, can you see? That's with leather gris. It remains the same. Leather gris is different. But when we use leather gloss, and that's the same part of the boot, right, there it is. Can you see all of that dippling's gone, and it's like like a layer is laid over. That's because with the leather gloss, it smooths everything out. Downside is, for wearing in the outdoors and for breathing, that's much better. I mean, that performs. It's a performance leather for making it look good, but it doesn't have the ability to breathe the same. That is better, and you can see that because it's all sealed off. This is a different leather. These are some I make. Some years ago I started making for myself chucker boots because I'm a child of the 60s, and so I wear my chucker boots. This is a chucker boot that I make, and I wear these, and it's a different leather. And when you look, this is again a magnified picture of the chucker boot leather. Can you see the shine that you get on the top of there? Very little of that dippling. Well, that's not really, this is not really an outdoor leather. This is a shoe leather, which I use, but it's a good quality leather. So, going back to leather gloss, it's what you do for leather gris, but at the end of the day, when you do the last stage of it, you use a buffing cloth, you try and just heat this a little bit and soften it, and what you, in effect, you will do, you will make a smooth surface on the top, and that gives you a great reflective shine, and off you go to the wedding, I suppose.